Okay, good evening everyone and welcome back to my channel here on Facebook and on my YouTube channel as well. Good evening and good morning po sa inyong lahat na nanonood nito as a rebroadcast ng ating channel. So, as you know already, based on our title sa ating video po ngayon, we're gonna be talking about fake news. Kasi nga, maganda siyang talakayan. It's timely. Kakatapos lang ng TRICOM hearing yesterday. And as I mentioned din last night, that I really want to talk about it. But, I don't want to be meddling on the current quote-unquote progress that they are already facilitating in the House of Representatives as per their legislative inquiry regarding fake news. Ayokong pangunahan sila. Maganda yung naging talakayan. Maganda rin yung sagot ng ating mga resource persons, especially for Attorney Trixie Cruz, Attorney Trixie Angeles Cruz. Tama ba? Yung mga sagot din niya doon. Ang ganda ng mga sagot niya. And I would like to commend as well the resource persons that were invited who did try their best to stand their ground, explain their opinions and their views as to the alleged fake news peddling that they have been demonstrating for quite some time already. But as I mentioned a while ago, ayoko silang pangunahan. I will discuss fake news per se, as how we define it, as how I would be explaining it to someone na nahihirapang intindihin ano ba yung tinatawag nating fake news. So, wala akong ginawa kanina kundi gumawa ng presentation for this. So, i-share ko po sa inyo ngayon itong aking presentation. Kasi, para makita rin po ninyo ano ba talaga yung fake news. You may agree, disagree with me. Of course, you are open to discuss it with yourselves, to comment it here on my Facebook page, on my YouTube channel. Mag-comment po kayo dyan. We are broadcasting this live. So, there could be mistakes on how I explain it. You may agree, disagree with me. Wala po problema yan. Kasi it's a free country. You can voice out your concern. And I am publishing this in my social media account. So, it's a public document, if you may say. Kasi, wala naman akong censorship when it comes to my videos na pinapublish po dito sa Facebook. So, to begin with, I would like to share to you fake news, a researcher's perspective. Bakit po siya a researcher's perspective? It's a researcher's perspective kasi po I am a lowly researcher. Isang hamak na researcher po ako. And I enjoy researching and the activities that are within the scientific and art of conducting researches. Nag-enjoy po ko dun for some reason. I like reading history in terms of the topics that are going to be discussed in a particular forum or discourse. May it be online, offline, or even in a face-to-face medium. So, a researcher's perspective. This is published today, the 22nd of March, 2025, and is published as a part of my channel na pinapakita ko po sa lahat through my YouTube account and my Facebook page na ISF Media. Kasi yan po yung aking channel, ISF Media. Okay po. So let's begin. What is fake news? Fake news is a broad term used to describe false or misleading information that appears to be news. So, yun po yung scope niya. It appears to be news. It is often created to influence political views, generate revenue, or cause harm. The term encompasses various types of false information. So that is how I would like to define fake news. Kung makikita nyo po sa definition ng fake news na ibinigay ko po rito, ang scope po niya ay it should be appearing as a news. Ano ba ang news? Balita. It should be a representation of an information as a news information. So, meron po tayong tinatawag na journalistic presentation. So, it should be able to influence someone through the different avenues politically, but its primary motive could be to generate revenue or possibly cause harm. That is what fake news, according to my simple definition from the different resources that I have gathered online. There are many types of fake news. First, a fake news could be a type of disinformation. It could also be misinformation. And lastly, we can categorize it as a malinformation. So what do we mean when we say disinformation? According to the University of William and Mary, which is a university in the United States, disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation are the three common types of fake news. Disinformation is defined as an information that is false and is deliberately created or spread with the intent to deceive or harm others. Ulitin ko po. It should have an intent to deceive or harm others. It should also be deliberately created. And not just deliberately created, it should also be deliberately spread throughout different mediums. Commonly, social media platforms. So yun po yung disinformation. Misinformation is an information that is false, but it is not created or spread with the intent to cause harm. It may be shared due to ignorance or error. So yung disinformation may intent. Misinformation walang intent na masama. And the third is malinformation. It is an information that is based on reality but is used to inflict harm on a person, organization, or country. So, kayo na po ngayon na mag-decide. With the peddling of common term used for fake news sa ating society, here in our country, here in the Philippines, saan ba mostly nahuhulog ang mga information na nakukuha natin sa iba't ibang social media platforms, networks, news information channels, etc.? Can we consider it as a disinformation, as a misinformation, or malinformation lang? Again, sa tatlong types ng fake news, ang misinformation lang po ang walang intent. Yung nasa gitna po dyan. Yung misinformation ang walang intent. So ngayon, kailangan, kasi meron tayong tatlong types ng fake news, kailangan malaman natin saan ba nahuhulog ang mga common information na nakukuha natin ngayon sa internet. Kasi, whether we like it or not, even the network channels are using the social media platform already to provide information. It could be credible or it could be fake news as well. Ulitin po natin, disinformation has intent. Malinformation also has intent. The difference between the two, disinformation is false and is deliberately created or spread. Malinformation is based on reality. Meaning, kinuha niya yung disinformation and utilizes it to inflict harm on a person, organization, or the general population. Maliwanag po ba? Are we clear on that? Now, there are characteristics of what we call fake news. Webwise, which is co-founded by the European Union, stated that fake news has few distinct characteristics. These are provocative content, lack of verification, political motivation, and economic gain. So ito po yung common na characteristic na makikita natin sa fake news. Question, should all four be present in order for it to be called fake news? Not necessarily. Kahit isa, dalawa, tatlo, o apat po dyan, maaaring element or character kung bakit gumawa ng fake news. When we say provocative content, it is generally defined as fake news designed to provoke strong emotional reactions which increases its likelihood of being shared. Kasi provocative siya eh. Magiging viral ito. I-share ko to para maging viral din ako. The next would be lack of verification. Creators or content creators, regardless of it be independent or organized, creators of fake news do not verify their information, leading to the spread of untruths. Political motivation. Fake news can be used to influence political views and outcomes, as seen in various elections and political campaigns. So ngayon, especially that it is already the season of election, many of the news or information that we gather from the internet can be politically motivated. And of course, last but not the least, economic gain. Some fake news is created to generate revenue through clicks and ad impressions, which means they share content in the internet simply because they want to earn from it. Either ads generated, especially when you're utilizing YouTube. Here in Facebook, we already have monetization platforms or options where someone who has reached the requirements of being a content creator, influencer, can also gain monetization from the contents they share or create. It could be through views, it could be through clicks. Yung pinaka-common is CPM. Yung content per 1,000 po yun. Yun yung pinaka-common na reason why almost everybody wants to be a vlogger. Why everybody wants to become a content creator. Kasi, nagkakapera din po dyan. May pera sa vlogging. May pera sa content creating. May pera pag tinawag ka pong influencer at marami ka ng reach. There are primary challenges when we say we want to regulate the spread of fake news. Here are three. First, the lack of clear definition. We cannot have a universal definition of what fake news is. The term fake news is often vaguely defined in legislation, which can lead to subjective interpretation and selective enforcement. This ambiguity can be exploited to suppress dissenting voices or independent journalism. As explained by Attorney Trixie Cruz Angeles during the TRICOM hearing, we do not have a working definition of what fake news really is. So you might ask, why am I trying to define fake news? No, I'm not. I am trying to provide information of what fake news is generally about. Kasi walang working, clear definition of a fake news. Kahit we can identify its types, we can identify its characteristics. By law, we do not have a clear working definition of what fake news really is. In fact, as example provided by Attorney Angeles, Attorney Trixie, can you consider sharing jokes as fake news? Sarcasm. Parodies. Paano yung parodies? How about satire content? Where do we draw the line for our information being spread to be considered as fake news? And if someone would try to provide a clear scope and working definition for a fake news, how sure are we that that person is impartial? Especially when it is now created into a law and we create a legislation to rule what encompasses fake news in terms of who will be enforcing the law. Napaka-common po ng tinatawag nating misinterpretation of the law. In fact, I will provide a clear example. When Secretary Remulla of the Department of Justice read the Republic Act as per the extradition case of former President Rodrigo Duterte, nakalagay naman po talaga doon na maaari na niyang extradite ang dating Pangulo. However, that was his interpretation of the law without clearly understanding that any law will be superseded by the Supreme Court's by the Philippine Constitution and the explanation of the Supreme Court, because there is no one who can clearly explain that what the law is and how to enforce it, how to interpret it, except a competent judicial court. In other words, yung Judiciary Department. So now, dahil pinagmalaki ng ating executive branch yung sinabi ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos when he was asked, does it not affect our sovereignty, na isinuko po natin ang Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa ICC. Does it not affect our sovereignty? Sagot po ng ating Pangulo, no, it does not. When in fact, sinabi pa ng Pangulo, na-establish yung judicial component na nakalagay po doon sa Rome Statute. It was executed by the Department of Justice. Yun ang ipinaliwanag, in-inform ng Pangulo. So it was a spreading of information from the President himself. But according to many lawyers, the competent judicial court na tinutukoy po doon can only be regulated or can only be interpreted as someone from the Judiciary Department. In other words, Korte, Judge, Hukom, Supreme Court for that matter. So, fake news ba yung pinalabas ng Pangulo? Can we consider that as peddling fake information and fake news? Kaya mahirap po na magkakaroon ng legislation on what fake news is if we do not have a clear definition as to the scope and the terms that would clearly define what fake news is. The second part would be its impact on free speech. Regulatory approaches that criminalizes the spread of false content can have a chilling effect on free speech. Journalists and content creators, even independent journalists, may engage in self-censorship to avoid legal repercussions. Ultimately, this can lead to a reduction in the diversity of viewpoints and the stifling of open debate or open discourse. Ang hirap kapag lalagyan na po natin ng bakuran ang ating karapatang magsalita at magpahayag ng ating opinyon. Yung sinabi po ni Crisette Chu, it was her opinion and her feelings on what she posted on the internet. Yung tanong ng ating congressman, don't you think you should feel responsible of what you are posting? More or less, yes, but we cannot regulate that because she was utilizing her own platform and her right to free speech. Hindi pwedeng balat sibuyas po tayo na masasaktan tayo agad kapag may magsalita sa atin ng masama. Especially when we are public servants. We should be always open to criticism. We should always be open to correction. We stand to be corrected and not just corrected but criticized. Yan ang isang bagay po na parte bilang isang public servant. If we cannot, hindi po natin maatim ang masasamang salita ng kabilang partido o ng mga independent parties against us, hindi po tayo para sa gobyerno. Hindi tayo pwede dito. And last but not the least, selective enforcement. Laws targeting fake news can be used selectively to target opposition views or specific groups leading to concerns about political bias and censorship. In other words, whoever has the power, the right to wield the power to identify what fake news is not, can establish selective enforcement. For me, in my interpretation, ito, fake news ito. Kaya, kailangan kitang ikulong. May magagawa ka ba? Kasi walang definition kung ano ang fake news eh. At kung lalagyan mo man ng definition o ng bakura ng fake news, guided naman siya sa sarili mong interpretation. Kagaya po ng ginawa ng Department of Justice, ng DILG, when they executed the extradition case of the former president. Yun yung interpretation nila. Can we blame them? Yeah, partly. Kasi they should know better and we take them to a higher standard kasi nga nasa gobyerno sila. But as far as how they spread their information and how they were able to disseminate the knowledge and wisdom on how they enacted their courses of action, can we consider that as well as fake news kung mali po yun? Di po ba? Maliwanag naman po, di ba? Kaya mahirap po masyado ang fake news na lagyan natin siya ng working definition. It's very difficult. There have been many approaches or attempts in trying to regulate fake news. And the United States tried to address fake news through these three common regulatory approaches. First, platform regulation. Ano po ibig sabihin nun? Platform regulation is to regulate the platforms that host and disseminate content rather than focusing solely on content creators. This approach involves imposing duties on platforms to monitor and remove harmful content, ensuring transparency in their algorithms, and holding them accountable for the spread of disinformation. Now, this is already common here in the Philippines. Kung nakikita nyo po, may mga content creators and channels na suspend po ng Facebook, ng Meta. One of which is the SMNI. Just recently, their accounts and alter accounts were already suspended. Yan po ay isang pamamaraan ng platform regulation. Iniipit ng ating government na mag-act upon ang mga social media networks which are functioning dito sa ating bansa. Not just in Meta, but also in TikTok, maybe meron din sa Twitter and YouTube, Google, perhaps. And that is a legitimate way. The next would be media literacy and transparency. The government in the United States is looking into investing in media literacy programs, which can help the public better identify and critically assess fake news. Additionally, transparency laws that require platforms to disclose information about content moderation and data usage can empower users to make informed decisions, especially in these upcoming elections. The problem with media literacy and transparency is whoever shall hold the literacy programs and transparency programs, workshops, seminars, and whatever should be considered as an unbiased party. Ang problem, kung ang government po ang magkakandak nito, hindi po siya magiging unbiased party. And last but not the least would be algorithmic accountability. Regulating the algorithms used by social media platforms to ensure they do not prioritize engagement over accuracy can help reduce the spread of fake news. This involves auditing algorithms to prevent the amplification of harmful content. Double blade po kasi itong algorithm accountability. Kapag po ipaprioritize po natin yung accuracy over engagement, ang end up po nito, maraming content creators ang mababawasan po ang kanilang engagement. Especially yung mga comedy. Diba? Paano nyo po i-regulate yun ng maayos? Kapag po ba mataas yung reach and engagement ng comedy, automatic kailangan natin tingnan kung ito ba'y makukonsider as fake news or not. Kasi, mas nagiging katawa-tawa ang content kapag it is half-meant. Kaya nga po ba, alam natin na jokes are funny because it's half-meant. Kaya nga po, mas kumiklik ang satire ng mga content or parodies. Bakit? Kasi people can relate to it with the current things that are happening in our country or contemporary ang mga content na nilalagay po nila. But one thing is for sure with this legislative approach, marami siyang issues. First, ang subjectivity po ng ating legislation. The current approach to legislating against fake news often lacks clear definitions and objective criteria. This vagueness can lead to selective enforcement and the suppression of dissenting views. For example, laws that can criminalize the spread of false content can be used to target political opponents or independent journalists. How? The government can create, this is just an example, okay? The government can try to create a triggering fake news that can be used by these independent content creators or independent journalists. And then they can repurpose that information that they can publish online. The original creator can also remove that and then they can push the blame to the repurposed information. Yun ang tatawagin nilang fake news. So, merong ano siya, merong, kumbaga, may malice and may intent siya at the beginning, pero po pwedeng sasabihin ng original na nag-post, I took it down, naglabas na po ako ng retraction, yung ginawa ko. Pero, would that imply na we can already criminalize fake news? Na nilabas po nila? Paano po yung nag-provide ng disinformation without the natural intent na mag-provide ng fake news? Currently, ang common po is the blame on the media platforms, yung social media platforms. Majority of the provided approaches in legislations are directed towards media platforms. True enough, media platforms play a significant role in the spread of fake news. But focusing solely on them can be seen as an attempt to shift responsibility. It is essential to recognize that the creation and dissemination of fake news involved multiple stakeholders, including individuals, organizations, and even foreign entities. As allegedly na may isang country daw na nakialam sa election in the US. Kung familiar po kayo sa balitang yan. But all of that is allegedly. Makukonsider ba agad yun na fake news? A comprehensive approach should address the root causes of fake news, including the motivations behind its creation and the mechanisms behind through which it spreads. And last but not the least, any legislation pertaining to fake news should always put into the highest consideration our right of free speech. It should always protect free speech. Any regulatory effort must be carefully designed to protect free speech. This means avoiding overly broad or vague definitions of fake news and ensuring that regulations are narrowly tailored to address specific harms. For example, regulations could focus on content that is demonstrably false and causes significant harm, such as incitement to violence of public health or public peace or anything related to such matter. Kumbaga, mayroong ceiling. Yung sinasabi natin inciting to sedition, ganun, etc., etc. Yung parang we are inciting someone to do harm to others. Yung mga ganun po, because of our content. Saka po natin siya tatawaging fake news. But, and in the end, it will always consider protecting everyone, every Filipino's right to free speech. Kasi po, yung karapatang magsalita, hindi naman po congruent sa karapatang pakinggan. Hindi naman po lahat na may karapatang magsalita ay may karapatan ring pakinggan. Hayaan mo silang magsalita. Hindi naman necessarily na pakikinggan mo lahat eh. Huwag mo na lang pakinggan kung ayaw mo namang masaktan. Di ba? Huwag mo lang bitawan yung karapatan nilang magsalita. In conclusion, I would like to end this presentation with this simple message. Regulating fake news is essential to protect public discourse and democratic processes. However, it must be done carefully to avoid infringing on the right to free speech. A balanced approach that includes platform regulation, media literacy, and algorithmic accountability can help address the spread of fake news, while preserving the right to free expression. I think my opinion in regarding what fake news is, how it affects, what are its types, characteristics, the issues concerning fake news and legislating it are already clear in this simple broadcast that I have shared with all of you. So, in the end po, I am not a lawmaker. I am not a journalist. I am a small content creator here on Facebook, of course. And in my YouTube channels, hanggang dun lang naman po talaga ako. So, ang sa akin lang naman po, sana, at the end of the day, before po natin bigyan ng tinatawag po nating restriction yung karapatan po nating magsalita, sana po, kapag gagawin na siyang batas, bigyan po natin ng malaking consideration. Parati, ang karapatan po natin bawat isa na magsalita, magpahayag ng ating sariling pananaw. Di ba po? Narinig niyo naman po yan siguro noon, di ba? Yung karapatan ng bawat bata. Hindi naman po bata lang ang may karapatang magpahayag ng sariling pananaw. Bawat Pilipino po ay may karapatang magpahayag ng sariling pananaw. Yan lamang po. Maraming salamat sa panonood ngayong gabi dito po sa aking Facebook page and sa aking channel po sa YouTube. I hope you learned something new from my short presentation here tonight. Medyo nagkakaroon ng problem po ang aking internet connection in terms with its speed, and yung kanya pong latency niya. Nagkakaproblema po tayo ngayon and medyo maingay din po yung mga bata. But I hope I was able to share my opinion and my perspective on the issue about fake news, what it is, and how it affects our society in general. Yan naman po, maraming salamat sa panonood. Ako po si Sir Weds ng ISF Media. Bidding you, see you again, and stay safe. Alam.